right. Hello, everyone. Welcome to it's Saturday afternoon or evening, depending on where you are, weekly setup. So we're going to get ready to get set up for the week. My name is Maya, and I am coming to you from Aurora, Colorado, which is a suburb of Denver, where apparently all it does here is rain. I think we've moved to Seattle. I shouldn't complain because I know we always complain about the weather, don't we? It's too hot, it's too cold, it's too wet, not enough wet. But we've had rain for probably the last 2 weeks, almost solid, which is very unusual for here, but it's nice because it's helping with the drought. We also are getting, apparently there's a wildfire in Canada, and the smoke has reached us, and it's made the air quality really bad. So mornings have been really odd with a mix of fog and rain and smoke. So it's a very odd May as we're moving along. So hopefully things are going well where you are. With me tonight is Jennifer Ogilvie. She is in Texas, and she says she's there. She's going to give you a little wave. She heard that this year is El Nino. More rain than usual. And I am hearing from other people with lots of rain, but unfortunately we're getting folks whose basements are flooding in different areas. So it's always, the weather is always a challenge, right? Always something kind of crazy. So how many of you are new? How many of you, this is your first Sonder Social that you've attended? Just drop like say me or whatever in the chat so we can kind of see. Oh, seeing some me's, Mary, Anna, Brianna. Nice. So we've got a few new folks, and we've got some of our returning folks. So I know I've seen some of you, the names here before. So it's always nice to have those returning. Becca's second social. Awesome. The great thing is these socials are really good places to get some new ideas from some of your Sonder fam, kind of get some inspiration. Maybe you aren't quite sure what the best way is to fill it out or the best way is to use some of these. And we have these weekly setups and we do monthly setups where it's really kind of more about getting things set up, more of the productivity side. And then we also do socials that are more getting into the journaling prompts, getting into the working on some of the different journal prompts. So those are fun to attend to if you've never attended those, because those are a little bit different, right? You're kind of spending some time writing and journaling and those kinds of things. So really quick, just some housekeeping tips. Make sure you set your chat to everyone. That way everyone in the group can see what you're saying. If you have a question, if you've got some comments, some different things you want some feedback on. Otherwise, oftentimes it will default to the host and panelist, which means that Jennifer and I are the only ones who see your comments. So just so you know, if you ever make a comment and you're not getting a lot of feedback, it might be because you have your chat that's not set to everyone. And if you're on an iPad or an iPhone or an Android phone, you're zooming in from the phone. Sometimes it keeps jumping back, right? It keeps jumping back to the host and panelists, so you have to keep flipping it. So sorry about that little technical glitch. And we'll remind you a lot of times like, oh, hey, if you want this chat to go to everybody, make sure you change it up to everyone. Other little just logistical kinds of things, housekeeping, we do have some community guidelines. We try really, really hard to make this a safe space, a supportive space, an uplifting space, right? So we ask that you be kind and courteous to yourself as well as to others. No promotion or spam, respecting folks' privacy, certainly no hate speech or bullying. If you have a lot of product questions, we ask that you direct those to hello@silkensonder.com. And remember that Sonder Socials are a tool to help elevate your emotional health through the power of community. But ultimately, you are responsible for your own emotions, well-beings, and decisions. So if there's ever anything we're working on that isn't really resonating with you, or you don't want to set up that particular space, or kind of wanting to do, you could do something else, right? You're free to hang out with us. You're free to talk in the chat, listen to the music. You could be coloring, you could be doing kind of whatever. This is your space. This is your hour to kind of devote a little bit of time for self-care, which is so, so, so important. Because remember, we can't fill from an empty cup. So this is you filling up your cup so that you can fill others' cups as well. So as you know, this month's theme is delight, which has been delightful. It's been kind of fun to look at things through the lens of delight. And our definitions talk about it can either be a verb to please someone greatly, or it can be a noun, a great pleasure. And so our agenda for tonight, we'll work on our mind map. And so we do a mind map every week, focusing on the theme of the month. So we'll focus on different areas, and you'll see what that looks like here in just a second. So we'll spend a little time on that. We're going to do our rosebud thorn reflection activity, which is so important to reflect back on the week and kind of think about things that we did. And then we'll dig into that weekly setup. We'll dig into those pages so that you can, dive right in. And I think this is going to be week, what are we going to dive into? We're going to dive into week 21, right on pages 46 and 47. And then we'll close out. So I have these two little cartoons that I like to use when I do my setups, just to remind you that there's room for you here just as you are. If things are going great and things are going well at work, you got a promotion, you got a new job, things are going well in your relationship, your kids are doing awesome, got lots of graduations happening this month and next month, super exciting. We're here for you. We want to celebrate with you. We love to hear those success stories, right? That is awesome. We love it. Conversely, if life is throwing you a bit of a curveball, things aren't going so great, been feeling a little down, been feeling a little stressed, feeling like you're kind of getting behind, different kinds of issues, illness, those kinds of things. We're here for you for that too. We are here to support you, right? So let us know how we can support you. Sometimes it's just hearing people say, oh yeah, I hear you. Same here, right? Or, oh my gosh, that totally sucks, right? That is horrible for you. I'm so sorry for you, right? So important to know, no matter what is happening, we are here for you. You're here to support you. And also the way that you feel matters. No emotion you feel is bad or unworthy. No one can tell you how you're supposed to feel about something. Your emotions are your own. And so we're here to feel the feels, right? So let's dive into our mind map. So this is on either a blank piece of paper, or it can be a blank page in your journal. I'll show you what I used here in just a second. I used the definitions page. People have been very creative with doing these mind maps. It's been super fun to see. So we are exploring this month delight through each of our 5 senses. Right? So luckily we had 5 different weekends that we're going to work on delight this month. And so this week is week number 4. So we are going to focus on sight, delight through sight. Oh, how lovely it rhymes. So week 1 was smell. If you're new and you haven't been with us, you can always catch up, right? Week 1 was delightful smells. Week 2 was delightful touch. Week 3 was delightful sounds. And then this week, delightful sights. And so you can see, here's a picture of mine. I did mine on page 3 that had the definition, kind of divided things up 1, 2, 3, 4. So I just went with just kind of very basic, just kind of thinking of things that when I see them just bring kind of that sense of delight and a smile to my face and happy, and is just really so fun. So I put, Jennifer and I were talking, we're both bird ladies. So birds at the feeder, I have a little picture I'll show you later of my little birdies. I love my little birdies at the feeder. A sunshiny day is delightful. We haven't really had a lot of those lately, but they are delightful. Watching my cats play, they're giant goofballs. Seeing a big full moon. It's the new moon right now, so we don't have that going on, but I do love to see a big full moon, especially when it's kind of down low and it looks like it's this giant thing. Waterfalls are delightful. Brightly colored yarn. I have a whole room full of yarn. Lots of seeing all those pretty colors. And a tidy room is delightful to me. I've been trying to clean and declutter, and gosh, it is so tricky. So trying to get those tidy rooms. So now it's your turn, right? It's your turn to think of this. So again, you can write this wherever makes sense for you, blank page, the scratch pad, in your weekly setup, any of those things. And let us know here in the chat, what kinds of things. Gloria's saying my dog's playing. Oh, Gail saying an empty sink. Yes, love it. So let us know in the chat. I'll play a little music and we'll check back in here in just a few minutes. I love seeing all the different things that folks are putting in the chat. I saw things like, a sandy beach, seeing their kids laughing and playing. It's probably much more delightful than when they're fighting. Fireflies. What else did I see? Oh yeah, eagles and hummingbirds. Somebody said that they caught themselves kind of gasping and saying like, wow, when they saw like a beautiful bird, right? Those are those things, those moments sometimes that just seem very fleeting, but there's something to kind of keep track of and kind of think about those things that are just delightful when you see them, right? Something doesn't have to be big, doesn't even have to be beautiful. Just some things just can be very delightful. So one of the things that you can do, if you want to this week to kind of keep track of those delightful things that you see, is in your weekly setup under the one thing under each day, you could put the one thing that you saw that was delightful that day. Or you could even take it a step further and decide, okay, I'm going to specifically seek out this one thing to look at and to see and to give my sight some delight throughout the week. So something kind of fun to kind of go forward as you're looking forward to your week. All right. So again, you've got this. We've got 1 week left. I think you can probably figure out which sense we're going to focus on next week, but hopefully we'll see you again next week when we work on week 5. So now let's dive into our rose, bud, thorn. And this is on page 44. So this is important to do every week. And I know sometimes maybe you feel like you kind of skip it. And maybe it's not important to do, but it really is important. It gives us that chance to kind of practice a little bit of gratitude, practice a little bit of reflecting before we go barreling into the next week, as I am wont to do sometimes, right? So the rose is something this last week that's been a highlight, something that's been fun, something that's been delightful. Doesn't have to be huge. Certainly something, that's just kind of a success, something that happened that was well. So mine for this week, I bought several new spring dresses. I thought, you know what, I've got clothes, but I really wanted a few new fun spring dresses. It's always fun to refresh the wardrobe, find some that I can retire and donate. And I found some really pretty spring dresses, and I've been focusing on trying to wear those on a kind of rotating basis, rotate those into my wardrobe. And it's so fun because people, oh my gosh, I love your dress. It's so springy. It's so fun. So that's been my rose for the week. A bud is an emerging opportunity, right? Something that's coming up that you're looking forward to, that you're maybe counting down the days to, or just something that kind of is a little bit of excitement to look forward to. So maybe it's a trip, maybe it's a movie, maybe it's time with friends. For me this week, my bud is we're going to get a new bed, maybe do a bedroom redo. We have a friend who is selling, she has a big king size bed that has kind of the dual, like the sides raise and the bottoms raise. And our bed is very old. I don't even know how old it is, probably 12 years old. And the mattress is kind of going kaput and it's not super comfortable. So I'm excited, but we have a queen. We're going to move to a king, which means kind of some redoing the bedroom here. So kind of excited. We might paint, we might do some other fun things. So I'm kind of looking forward to that. That's my bud for the week. And then thorn is a challenge, something that's been maybe a little frustrating. Things aren't going quite like you want. Maybe it's a little stressful. Maybe it's a person, maybe it's something at work, maybe it's the weather. So for me, I have been feeling a little tired this week because we've had a lot of cloudy weather. Now I know I shouldn't complain because Colorado usually has lots and lots of sun, but you really get used to it when it's really sunny. And so it hasn't been sunny. And so that's kind of been my thorn for the week, right? So think about those things. I'll play a short little bit of music. Feel free to share with us. In the chat if you want to share your rose, your bud, your thorn. I see Shannon sharing, I won a raffle. Nice, exciting to win things, and finished a couple books. Love, always exciting when we finish a book. Bud, starting moving my boyfriend in with me, getting a third dog, oh my goodness. And then Thorn is one of the horses is really sick. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. I hope they feel better. And work bosses are tense. So yes, work is frequently a thorn for me as well. I work in K-12 education. And I think I saw somebody mentioning like looking forward to the week, like knowing they only have like a week or so left with kids and then it's going to be the summer. So that can always be a thorn as well. So I'll play again, a little brief bit of music and we'll check back in. Feel free to share what you would like in the chat so we can see how your week was. Right. Thank you for sharing those different areas of your week, those different areas of your life that are making you smile, are making you excited for the future, and those things that are a little tough, right? The little those bumps. And sometimes they're little bumps, and sometimes they're big bumps. And sometimes if there's a lot of little bumps, they become a big bump. So again, kind of sharing that, reflecting. And this is also really good to be able to go back when we switch over to June and go back and look at these reflections and really kind of see like what kinds of things were happening, how are you feeling each week, and those can really help you set intentions for the coming months. Really good to look back over the year and kind of see. So I saw some folks are struggling with some pain. Illness is always a thorn. It is just so frustrating. My husband and I are still kind of battling a cold that we got when we traveled to California a week or so ago, a couple weeks ago, I guess it was now. I'm doing better at it than he is, but he's, illnesses are just no fun. So hopefully folks who are experiencing some of those things, illness, pain, illnesses with loved ones, can kind of have some things to hold on to here as we go through our week. So let's dive into our planner. Let's get this show on the road and go to page 46. We're in the 21st week, believe it or not, of 2023, moving right along. And the first thing that we want to talk about is this week I want to feel. And again, sometimes this seems like I don't know if I need to write this down or don't give it a lot of thought, but I think it's really important. It really sets your intention for the week, right? How do you want to show up? How do you want to be? How do you want to go in to this week? So we're going to spend just a little bit of time thinking of this, and I would love when you can share how you want to feel for the week in the chat. One of the ways you can also approach it is to take more of the I am approach, right? So the I am free, I am eternal, I am strong, I am authentic, I am unstoppable, right? Saying these things and saying them out loud can really have a huge impact on how you show up and how you are and how you get through things, right? So a couple different other examples. I love the one that had Mighty, and they have the little picture of Mighty Mouse, light and airy from letting things go, feeling flexible, feeling accomplished. Mine for this week is I want to feel creative. I have definitely been in more of a consuming mode lately. I've been reading a lot of books. I've been watching a lot of different YouTube things and different professional development kinds of things, and just really kind of taking in a lot, which is great. But sometimes it's not, it doesn't satisfy that creativity thing. So this week, I really want to feel creative. I want to create things. I need to do some more writing. I need to do more knitting so I can get some more things done. I saw some of you talking about finished projects, right? So really just kind of feeling that creative vibe. So think about your word. Let us know your word. I'll play a brief little bit of music if you want to let us know your word, and we'll check back in, and then we'll see how that word is going to help us with our goals, our to-dos, and our habits. Okay, I didn't give you a ton of time to think about your feelings, but I do how you want to feel. But I do see some folks putting things in chat. I love I'm in control of my life. I want to feel in control. I want to feel satisfied. Want to feel joy. Want to feel present. Even just want to feel, right? Want to feel, Shannon's saying, want to feel deeply, feel the feels, right? Want to feel hopeful. Really thinking about this. And again, I'll kind of pop this one back up too for you to kind of take a look. But this really does set us up when we have this feeling, we have this written down. I will also often write this on my bathroom mirror with like the dry erase markers. You can write on a mirror and then you can erase those. So a lot of times I'll write my word on that. So I see my word every morning when I'm getting ready. I kind of think about it. I like to do the I am creative, right? And think about that and really kind of see how that sets us up for our weekly major 3 goals. So these are 3 goals that probably we want to accomplish this week. They may be longer than that. They may be something that's going to take you maybe a few weeks or a month. Lots of different ways to approach that. But again, think about your feeling. What are some goals, if you accomplished, would help you feel your feeling, right? So you can always go back if you want to your May intentions tracker, your monthly habit tracker, to look at those. Setting goals through the lens of delight. Maybe it's something that you want to kind of help with delight. Setting no goals, so things like no alcohol, no doom scrolling, no more than a certain amount of minutes, no impulse spending. So one of the things for me in a no goal, so I want to feel creative, so no consuming, right? Or limited consuming, right? So I'm not going to be reading a lot of stuff. I'm not going to be watching a lot of videos. I'm not going to be on a lot of webinars. I'm going to be really focusing on the creativity part and not the consuming part. Again, you might want to look at different weeks and see if there's some outstanding goals that you want to do. Maybe you want to frame your goal around a single personal challenge. So example, maybe you have a fitness challenge. Maybe you wanted to do some cleaning or decluttering, some self-care. Sometimes it's a packing the lunch kind of thing with soups or salads, trying new soups or salads, those kinds of things. And I'll cycle through these slides so you can see them again when you're working on it. So you can see some different ways that people have set this up. Declutter, organize, and clean are their goals. Prioritize sleep, make a movement plan, increase effort at work, enjoy time with family, share gratitude with others, rest. One person up at the top, they set a goal for their home. They set a goal for their work. They set a goal for their health. They set a goal for their mind, and they set a goal for their body. Very ambitious, right? Then I like the one in the middle is witness beauty and inspiration, organize, inform, and inspire my team, compartmentalize, and manage time so I can dig in. You also do not have to have three. You could maybe only have two. You could only have one. Maybe for this week, what you really need is to focus on just one goal. Just write one in there. It's okay, right? Or maybe you're like, okay, I've got goals kind of somewhere else. I've got more, it's more monthly goals, not necessarily weekly goals. I've kind of got that taken care of someplace else. So maybe I want to repurpose this area and talk about maybe 3 new words that I want to focus on this week, or maybe some movies or TV shows that I want to watch, playlist, some songs that I want to listen to, 3 fun activities that I want to do. Lots of different ways to work on this section. So I'm also going to talk to you about the to-dos, because sometimes people get like, what's the difference between a goal and a to-do? So goal is more of this big kind of overarching, your kind of your why, right? So you want to limit the consumption. You want to do some different things, like with these examples, organize, inform, and inspire the team, right? And your to-do list is kind of a list of those daily activities that will get you there. So here's an example that I have for you from our Silk and Sonder Instagram, where they came up with some to-dos, some more spring to-dos, right? So getting spring cleaning in, going for a nature walk, planting something new, practicing gratitude, savoring seasonal fruits and veggies, starting a spring reading list, go on Do Not Disturb on your phone, treat yourself, make a new playlist, go on a picnic, try out a new hobby, spend time with loved ones. And here's some examples of things that people have done with their to-do lists. Sometimes they divide them up into wants and needs, right? Things I want to do, things I need to do. Some people will do a bingo. A lot of people love the bingo boards, right? So add some different kinds of those things that you want to do. The Eisenhower matrix, a lot of people really like, is so that they can really kind of focus on things that are important and urgent versus things that are not important and not urgent. Kind of a fun little way to set that up. And remember, with those to-dos, these are the gradual steps towards your goals. So remember, the results that you want, those goals, rarely come without a process of gradual steps toward it first. So again, think back to your feeling. Oh, I can hear thunder. It's going to rain again. What a surprise. Think about your feeling. Think about those 3 goals that you want to accomplish, right? And how they feed your feeling. And then those to-dos are kind of those baby steps, right? What does that look like? Maybe mine is, yeah, Nikki, you're right. As long as it doesn't hail, we should be okay. Maybe those baby steps, if I want to do like something here for my goal, is something about prioritizing sleep. Maybe my to-dos will be turn off the screens time. One of my other to-dos might be drink a cup of warm, some nice tea, right? Some chamomile tea before bed, but not too close to before bed, because then you'll have to get up to go to the bathroom in the middle of the night. Those kinds of things. So those to-dos line up with being able to make that goal successful, right? And again, if you don't feel like the to-dos are something that you need to keep track of, you can always find different things, different ways to kind of process this, or different things. Maybe there are things you don't want to forget for the week. Maybe they're a self-care list, any of those kinds of things. All right. So I'm going to play some music for you, let you work on that, see how that goes. And then we'll check back in. Feel free to share kind of what you're thinking of, how you're going to go through this week with those goals and those to-dos. All right. Thank you for sharing your ideas for what you're going to set up for your major 3 goals, how you're going to tie those to-dos in there. Love the idea. Someone had set it up for, they have, Lauren had a mental goal, an emotional goal, and a physical goal. And that's a fun way to kind of set those up, those 3 areas that you want to have a goal on. And kind of, so you're working in the mental, emotional, and physical. Some people will do personal and work, lots of different ways to kind of think about how you want to set that up and move forward. So now that you've got those, right, you've got how you want to feel for the week, you've got some goals in there, you've got some to-dos set up. Now we're going to go down to this habit and activity section. And a lot of folks say, how is this section different from the big habit wheel that I have, our monthly habit wheel? So the big wheel, the monthly habit wheel, is really things you want to do every single day, right? Like flossing, or taking your vitamins, or making your bed, or going for a 10-minute walk, or those things you really want to do very consistently throughout the month. This is really specific to your week. It doesn't have to be, but I find it works very good if it's specific to your week, again, tied into those to-dos, the goals, and the feeling, and really kind of thinking about those things that you want to do, maybe only a few times that week, for example, right? Maybe you want to do something very, you want to do, I often pack my lunch for work, right? And I'll tell myself I want to do that 3 or 4 times during the week, even though I'm working 5 days a week. But I give myself a little grace, knowing I don't want to necessarily do it all 5 days. But then I can kind of see how that works out. So here's some examples of different kinds of things. Again, I pulled some fun stuff from the Silk and Sonder Instagram. And if you're not following Silk and Sonder on Instagram, highly recommend it. Lovely, positive, fun little ideas. So they have some things that they're calling a self-care checklist. So you could put some things in here, getting the 15 minutes of movement in, spending 5 minutes outside, doing one thing that brings you joy. You could have a seeing one delightful thing, right? Staying hydrated, decluttering and tidying up. Or then there's the what not to do. Like that's the other idea too, is you can put things that you don't want to do. So I don't want to spend time with people who don't appreciate me. I don't want to not get enough sleep. Some of them start to sound like double negatives sometimes when you say, I don't want to focus on the negative, right? I don't want to eat late at night. So again, these are with the weekly, it's much more focused on what you want for that week. So sometimes if you have a trip coming up or have some specific work things coming up, that's where you focus there. The big monthly wheel, the big monthly habit tracker is more for things you want to do every single day, right? Throughout the month. So here's some examples. And I saw someone had wrote, Marina had said she uses the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 method. So down in the bottom right hand, the one thing they want to do 5 times, 4 times, 3 times, 2 times, and once. So they're using the theme of just say no. So they're going to delete 50 emails. Sometimes I will put in things like unsubscribe from 3 listservs or something a day. And I want to do that 3 times during the week. Things like declutter 4 bags of stuff, days without sugar, throw away expired food, no social media. You can see you do not have to fill in every line, right? You can certainly have, this person had 3 things: dishes 7 times during the week, laundry 3 times, daily ritual twice. The one in the bottom, they just put hydrate, and that's the only thing they put, so they can kind of keep track of that for those particular days. Or you can also have things like no phone in bed when you wake up, reading a novel, clearing the dishes in the sink by the end of the day, those kinds of things. And again, this is a good one to go back and look at your intentions page, look at your monthly tracker, kind of seeing where you want to land with those different things. Oops, I didn't mean to go there. So again, let us know what kinds of things you're putting in there. And sometimes people don't like to use it at all. They're like, you know what? I've already got my monthly tracker going. I've got some stuff in my to-do list. I don't really need another list of stuff, of things that I want to do. It's a little too overwhelming for me this week. Leave it blank. Pop some stickers in there. Do some doodles in there, right? Just kind of leave it as is. Leave it, again, for things that can serve you. Yeah, Anna's saying she has 3. I wouldn't say just. I would say I have 3. because you don't have to limit yourself, right? You don't have to make it sound like it's less than, right? It's three important things, three important habits, three important activities that you want to do. Yeah, Jennifer was saying she had 2 things on there because it was a crazy week. And sometimes the things are things like breathe for 2 minutes, right? Or meditate for 5 minutes, or listen to a fun, happy song. And I want to do that 3 times this week, right? So again, trying to think, what did I put for last week? I had watch something that we had recorded on the DVR, right? To try to get some of those things done. I wanted to do that 4 times. I had some knitting time, put that in there 2 times. I wanted to finish a book, so I put that in there for 1. So let us know what kinds of things that you're going to pop in there. We'll check back in here in just a few minutes and we'll keep moving on. All right, lots of great ideas for things that folks want to put in the habit tracker. I loved the idea of potentially using the weekly habits for the no things, right? Like things you don't want to do, things you want to limit, things you want to minimize. So things like no takeout, no hitting the snooze, no, we could put it back on the no negative self-talk, right? Those kinds of things, and how many days you want to do that. And then using the monthly for things you want to add in, right? Like taking my vitamins, going for a walk, spending 10 minutes. So kind of the more of the, here's some things I want to add in, and here's some things that I want to take out. So again, lots of different ways to do this. I change it up usually. A lot of times I'll change it up each week, but I'll maybe keep a couple things in there because it's working well, right? And that's the important thing. What's working for you? And if it's working, bring it over from the past week. If it's not working for you, if you realize you said you wanted to do something and you never did it that week, well, that's something good to reflect on, right? Like I put that down there. Why did I put that down there? Did I think I had to do it? Did I think I should do it, but I don't really want to do it? Are there some things in place things I need to put in place so that I actually can do it, right? So excellent, excellent ideas, lots of good things to kind of think about as you move forward. So let's flip over to page 47. So I like to kind of go through the different areas on this with you and then let you, some people they only like to use one of these areas. Some people only like to fill in a couple, like to repurpose them. So I'm going to kind of walk you through each of these areas, and then we're going to give you some music and let you fill these in and kind of let us know how you're doing it. The first one is the meal plan, right? And I've got to say, I feel like this is the one that most people like to repurpose the most, right? Yes, it is great to track your food. Yes, it is great to plan your food, but not everybody wants to use it for that. So I'm seeing people saying things like, I put a daily quote in the meal planner section. Some people like to use it to track their exercise, their cleaning, making it a gratitude log, affirmations, packing list, wardrobe planner. I know there's some people that suffer from different like illnesses like migraines or some gastrointestinal distress and those kinds of things. So they do try to kind of write down the different things that they're eating so they can maybe kind of try to track and see if there was something that was a trigger. Maybe it's your favorite thing. Again, this could also be a place where you write down your delightful sight that you see each day, one delightful thing that you saw. You can see there's some different, again, the affirmations, making it happen. They have kind of a little cleaning list. So lots of different ways to use this, right? Excuse me. Then we have that mind body health plan kind of up in the top. And these are things that you want to kind of track, or you want to plan for things to help both your mind and your body's health, right? So some people will do things like the one in the middle is the 7 different types of rest. So different ways that you can rest, different ways that you can recharge your body and your mind. The one up in the top left, they have the fun little like Meatless Monday, TV Free Tuesday, Walking Wednesday, Thoughtful Thursday, Family Fun Friday, Sabbath Saturday, Self-Care Sunday, right? So kind of a fun little alliteration plan there. Person in the bottom left came up with 3 different possibilities of things that they could do each day. So they are picking one of those 3 things to do. The one person used it as a meal planner because they just needed to plan dinner. And so I think this person actually used the HelloFresh meal kits that you get, that you can order and you can get, because there's these fun little things like getting figgy with it. And there's the crispy kickin' cayenne chicken. So these kind of fun little catchy things. So they planned out, okay, this is what we're going to have for dinner. One person, they kind of blocked off the days and they said something I did well this week, right? And some ways I loved others this week. Fun thing to kind of keep track of there. And our ever popular bingo, right? Someone has a chore bingo. So different kinds of chores that they want to do, things that they want to work on. And then under that is the shopping list, right? Which obviously can be used for shopping, but is also a really good, I use it a lot of times for just a quick scratch pad where I need to kind of write some things down or kind of something I need to keep track of. So we can use it as a shopping list. I used it one week for energy givers, things that give you energy. So I made a little bingo. So things like sunshine, nature, meditation, music, rest, good food, reading, water, movement, and kind of did that as a fun little bingo. Errands that you need to run, a quote, a fun quote, or something that you want to kind of keep in the front of your mind that you're thinking about as you move forward. So again, I'll kind of cycle through these different slides. And I forgot, I wanted to mention, especially for our new folks, it's a good idea to maybe take a screenshot, use the little snipping tool or the screenshot tool, or if you're on your phone, you can usually do screenshots of the slides so you can kind of go back if you miss something and you wanted to kind of remember. So let us know kind of what you're doing. Maureen's saying use the shopping list for my daily mental check-in. Love it, right? Again, it's those things where you kind of want to keep, there's something that you want to kind of jot down, something you maybe want to keep track of that doesn't have a good place somewhere else. So let us know how you're using that, and we'll check back in here in just a few minutes. All right. So hopefully you've figured out some fun ways that you want to use each one of these sections. And again, sometimes some weeks I just don't use them at all. I just throw some stickers in, or maybe I do a doodle, or you know what? You can actually leave them blank. We will not come and knock on your door and ask to see your journal and give you a demerit if you haven't filled in every section, right? This is your journal. The journal should never make you feel guilty or stressed or upset that you're falling behind. I always feel so bad for folks in Sonder Club when they talk about, oh my gosh, I've fallen behind. I'm way behind on my journal. I'm not giving enough time to my journal, right? Like, don't let this be another thing to pile on your head. Some days and some weeks we use the heck out of it, right? We're like, yeah, we're really grooving. We're using it a lot. It's really moving us. Some weeks, a lot of other things are happening. Life happens, right? And the journal just isn't the thing that's in the forefront of your mind. And that's okay, right? So please, please, please. Yes, Jennifer's saying it's not going to be the journal police. We're not going to come and check on that. So please don't let that be something that makes you feel any source of stress. So the other thing, people will say, well, what should I put in here for the I am loving? So this really is just whatever you're loving for the week. Sometimes I fill it in the middle of the week. So these are this is a picture of my bird feeder with my 3 little birds there. And I love, they're 3 different kinds of birds, and they're so sweet and so colorful, and they posed so nicely, and they weren't fighting when I took this picture, but then probably right after they started kind of, nibbling there. So it's just kind of a fun place for you to jot down a quote or a picture or a sticker or just something kind of fun to put in there, right? And I also wanted to mention, because I know sometimes people are like, what the heck am I supposed to do with this currently page, right? And it was on page 39. And really, that's just a place for you to do like a snapshot in time of your life, right? So what are those things right now that you're loving, you're feeling, you're enjoying, you're anticipating, you're wishing, you're reading, you're watching, you're planning? It's just a fun place to just do that snapshot. So if you haven't had a chance to fill that out, often what I will do is put a reminder in my phone that reminds me on the 15th of every month to do my currently page. And then when that little alarm goes off, usually what I say is, why is my alarm going off? And then I look at it and go, oh yeah, that's right. And then I just give myself a couple minutes to just jot something down. And again, it's just a fun place to be able to go back later and kind of see what was going on in your life at that currently page. What was going on for you at the time that you filled that out during the month? So again, but if you don't fill it out, like it's not a big deal, right? Not a problem. So believe it or not, we have come to the end of our hour. This is always the fastest hour. I say there's treadmill hours and there's Silk and Sonder social hours. And the Silk and Sonder social hours are much more fun and go much faster than those than those treadmill hours, right? Totally feels totally different. So we love it if you share your weekly planner with us. That's where we get our examples. That's where we kind of go for inspiration to kind of find those fun things to share with everybody. And you'll never know who you might inspire to track something differently or to have something different in there. So please feel free as much as you would like, right? You don't have to, but we love to see those pictures in our Sonder Club. So the couple different QR codes, we still are doing the Refer a Friend program where if you refer a friend with your special link, they sign up, they get $10 and you get $10 to spend. You also should be getting a link to a survey to kind of let us know what you're thinking about socials. If you want more socials, different kinds of socials, different times, share your feedback there. You can also scan that QR code. Jennifer is also putting the very, very special, very, very important link for the YouTube recordings. So usually takes a couple days, especially with the weekends, it can take a little bit longer. We have almost 500 different recordings of socials in there for you to view. There's no chat. So that's not there. And usually the music is there. Sometimes it's taken out due to copyright, but you can always kind of go back. And that's also a good place to go if you want to kind of see those slides again, and you can kind of pause and fast forward and move along. So make sure you bookmark that link. It's not searchable. If you go to Silk and Saunders YouTube page, you won't be able to find it. It's just there for our friends. And I think they're probably getting ready to put the June Sonder Social schedule up in Eventbrite if it's not there already, but we do still have lots left in May, right? May's not over yet. It's only the 20th. We have till the 31st. So make sure, feel free to sign up for some more fun things through that Eventbrite. If you're having any questions about your journal arrival, any of those kinds of things, hello at Silk and Sonder for customer care. They are only there Monday through Friday. So if you email on the weekend, give a little bit of time. Oh, so great question. Anna's asking, going on vacation after this week for a week, and the vacation isn't planned by her. Would you guys normally skip journaling? I usually take my journal with me because I never know when I might have some time to maybe jot a few things down or do a few things, but I give myself lots of grace, right? If I don't fill it out as much as I usually do when I'm home, or I don't do all my habits like I normally do. Because, if you're on vacation, the habits kind of get a little wonky. You can't always do the things you want to do. So again, don't let it be a source of stress. Do what makes you happy. Do kind of what you're feeling, right? So thank you all so much for joining us. We're so happy to see you here. We can't actually see you, but we see your names and we see all the great things that are there in chat. So let us know if there's anything that you're wanting with those Sonder socials. Please feel free to join us, and have a fabulous day as you move through. Hopefully folks, weather is good. And I'm going to play this song because not that I want the rain to completely go away, but I would like it to give it a little bit of a rest for a while. So take care, have a great weekend, and we'll see you soon.
I can see clearly